Hey guys, it's your best boxing friends. I'm Kelsey. This is Rachel. Rachel, Kevin Iole is the boxing and MMA writer for Yahoo. And Iole recently released a power rankings of the top broadcast crews of the big shows, right? So I think he included in this Showtime.
This is, specifically boxing.
Yeah, just boxing. Showtime, DAZN, ESPN, Fox.
Right off the bat, I wanted to say I got this notification on my phone and I saw like the title. And what I thought was interesting was, why was this written?
I think it's written because
I
actually thought the same thing. I was more like, why would you do this to yourself, Kevin Iole? Like
right.
These are all, most of these people in a broad sense would be considered your peers. And
right.
So, because you're a media person and they are, why would you rank them?
Let me rank all my colleagues according to what they do.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if any of us, if I went into my job and I was like, hey guys, I wrote up this piece where I just ranked all of you on how you do your job.
And Kevin Iole.
And on the other side of that is who won, what are the fans? How many fans are this interested in this?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know. Like, I get that it's like a little bit interesting, right?
One might wonder, why are we even talking about it?
I'm just saying, like, it's like a tiny bit interesting, but in the grand scheme of things, doesn't really matter, I don't think. Or do you think it matters? Is it going to help? Is it going to improve boxing?
I think it's an interesting topic that if you're in the world of boxing, whether as an avid fan of boxing or a boxing writer or whatever, it is interesting to think about. Like, this is the kind of stuff people already in that world already think about. And so to that end, it is an interesting and noteworthy piece because now, here's the other part of that. So overall, while I like the piece, I've read and Kevin Iole is one of the best boxing writers and MMA writers in the world. That's why he's so successful. But when he ranks things, he just did another ranking on how he thinks like older historical fights would do on pay-per-view today. Mm-hmm. And his methodology in both that one and this one, I don't quite follow the logic behind them because it's not my logic. It's Kevin Iole's logic. And so that's just like individual preferences, thoughts, and ideas and stuff. That being said, I was interested in this article.
Yeah. So we thought we would go through it.
Yeah, let's do some quick takes, what we think about. So he's got, again, I said the 4 major broadcast teams are ESPN, Showtime, DAZN, and Fox.
Yeah.
He ranks them 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to tell you. He ranks ESPN at the top, Showtime number 2, DAZN number 3, and Fox number 4. This is their overall, all of the team together. Mm-hmm. Just, Rachel, what are your high-level thoughts on that ranking? And maybe just tell me who you think the best team is. Like, if you're going to watch a fight tomorrow night, and you get to pick which total crew. You have to take everybody together. Which one are you picking?
Well, it's definitely not ESPN. So that's like just like right off the bat really surprising for me. Gosh, it's really not ESPN. Like I can't even like explain how that would not be my my pick. I think that the other thing to consider here is that we recently had a big change in the boxing broadcast world in that we lost HBO.
In the old days, this was an easy question.
Yeah. Max Kellerman moved to ESPN. DAZN is still relatively new, so I think it's kind of new. So like even when I think of ESPN, I'm still not thinking Max Kellerman. We just heard Max Kellerman at ESPN Boxing the other day, and I was like, this is so weird for me.
Yeah, but it's a different role, and it's a different kind of Max Kellerman too. So
I feel like I haven't had enough time to. I get like if you pick Showtime, if you watch a channel that me and Kelsey are really liking DAZN right now, and
we're all over DAZN.
And I get that, like, so as a whole, I don't know. I think I probably would pick Showtime because I think like, gosh, that crew's been together. I trust them. I think like Al Bernstein's great. Paulie Malignaggi does a great job as an analyst, despite like whatever downfalls he may have. So like I don't know. For me, the top 2 would be Showtime and DAZN.
Okay, yeah, definitely for me, the top 2 are Showtime and DAZN. I think that I prefer DAZN, and I know that might confuse people. The other one's Fox. Fox, whatever.
I know, I'm looking at it because I'm
Fox
like,
and
what?
ESPN are definitely the bottom
Like, what,
two
Fox?
to at least to Kelsey and Rachel. But I love Showtime. I love Al Bernstein.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
grew up watching Al Bernstein on ESPN talk about historic fights, so that's partly the reason. He also does a great job. I think Paulie Malignaggi is really good at his role, and so that's great. Mauro Ranallo calls a fight in a great and exciting way. I love that.
Yeah, because it's always interesting. I mean, Steve Farhood, I love Steve Farhood. Like, I think he does a
Yeah,
great
but Steve
job.
Farhood's really kind of on the other team.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just looking
he's
at
part
analysts.
of it. You're right. He's on the team, but on the main broadcast, he's usually just. I think they should use Steve Farhood more. I think he's that good.
Think like he's so
but
good.
usually he's just like
and then I like
Harold
Brian
Bowman.
Custer. Like, I think he does exactly what somebody in that role is supposed to do, which is be like really good at talking and also be neutral. And with the exception of the hat last week, I think that he does a great job.
Yeah. So for me, though, I think that I prefer DAZN, and I think I prefer DAZN because I love Brian Kenny. I think he does a great job, and he is an excellent personality. I think in boxing, you need personalities. He is a big personality.
Yeah, he has like a personality.
I think Sergio Mora is criminally underrated at the job that he does.
I really have enjoyed him, and I think that he's honest. And I like that he doesn't just agree with the other people who are sitting beside him.
Yeah.
And I really like that. Now, there's a clear, person on the team.
The weakest link on the team is Sugar Ray Leonard, who also happens to be one of the greatest fighters ever. And so to me, having Sugar Ray Leonard there is great.
And I know that balances out because he's one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Yeah, because to me, it doesn't really matter what Sugar Ray Leonard says. As long as Sugar Ray Leonard's talking, I'm listening. It was the same with Roy Jones Jr., who I think has more experience and is better than, obviously, Ray Leonard.
Better than Ray Leonard
is Ray Leonard, and so I want Ray Leonard there.
I will say, and I'm willing to give Ray Leonard time to get better in this, role.
Exactly.
And then I have seen glimpses of Ray Leonard in this role where he's been more natural and genuinely himself. He was doing a locker room interview before one of the fights once. And whatever he said, I can't remember, but he laughed afterwards, and it was just like
he's
that
lovable.
moment. He was just himself, and I was like, that was precious, whatever it was, and I loved it.
Everybody has always loved Ray Leonard, and he's got that quality. And so I think, let Ray Leonard be Ray Leonard.
Yeah.
You already know that we think that Chris Mannix and Kay Adams are a breath of fresh air in boxing and the best at what they do.
So let's go ahead and skip down to where Iole starts to rank
individuals.
I
love this. Let's do this. Let's do like a quick hot take. Individual.
We're going to start with play-by-play. So I'm going to list them. We have Mauro Ranallo, Joe Tessitore, Kenny Albert, Brian Kenny, Chris Myers. I don't know. I can't really disagree with that. I get, what does he say?
Fistic Fury!
Fireworks and,
he uses alliteration and...
just all over the place.
Onomatopoeia.
He's coming from...
He's like, pow!
WWE, right?
And MMA. He calls all combat sports.
Yeah. So...
Mamma mia!
Specifically WWE, it is a very different world. And so... I don't know. I think he brightens up my world, even if I get a little annoyed sometimes, or I might roll my eyes sometimes at some of the word choices. But I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think he's definitely. I agree with you. I think to me, Mauro Ranallo is number one right now, and we can just skip the rest and move down to ringside analyst. That's a lot. There's a lot of these.
Apparently, a lot. But here's the big takeaway: that Iole has Andre Ward as number one.
That's pretty accepted, sort of.
Is it? Okay, and maybe it's just me. Well, I just do not like Andre Ward as an analyst. I think that he comes across in just not a likable way. And here's what I'm going to tell you: I think that Andre Ward is actually probably a super great person. There is just something about his personality for me that comes across as a little bit unlikable. And I say this as somebody who sometimes comes across like that. I'm shy, I'm an introvert, and sometimes that has come across to people as rude and stuck up when it's really I'm just sitting there in fear, afraid to talk to you. So I get when you give off an impression that's not really representative of who you are. So that wouldn't be my pick for ringside, especially above
Who
Al
would be your
Bernstein.
pick for number one? Like
On
quick
this
thought.
list, like it's gonna have to be. Well, really, for me, I think it's Steve Farhood.
Okay, that was a lot for me. Steve Farhood is way down this list.
I mean, he is so
And to me,
knowledgeable about boxing.
Steve Farhood is the best as
Like,
well. As much as I love Al Bernstein.
Insight. Yeah,
Right.
and I do. I love Al Bernstein too, but gosh, Steve Farhood is so good.
I tell you some other people that I think are underranked on this list. I think, and this might surprise people, but I think that Mark Kriegel is underranked on this list because I like when a analyst causes turmoil for people because it means that he's doing something different.
He's an independent thinker.
He's a great writer. And the way he talks and his personality is different than maybe a lot of people are used to hearing from ringside. But I love that. I think it brings something.
I think if he were just a little bit better at communicating, like that's what I would like to see from Mark Kriegel.
Yeah, well, he's
like
also
tiny
pretty
bit
new
better
in the
at
role.
communicating.
Yeah, he's definitely improved greatly. Just like
oh yeah, I remember the first time, like it was like whoa.
Sergio Mora has improved greatly since he
started.
started.
And I really love Sergio Mora too. There's a lot of people I love on this list. Like I love like Al Bernstein, Sergio Mora, Paulo Malignaggi, Steve Farhood.
You know who's gotten really a lot better since he started is Tim Bradley. So when Tim Bradley started this, I was like, he's terrible at this, you know?
Yeah,
and then like
see, the thing is with Tim Bradley for me is I think that when you are working any kind of broadcasting crew, the quality of your voice, just your vocals, is really important. And most of the time, I have a hard time hearing Tim Bradley above the crowd, above the things going on in the ring. I just like can't hear him, and so
yeah, he's got us.
And I'm very auditory. No, I'm not. I'm not auditory. I'm very visual.
Yeah.
So like. If it's hard for me to hear, like, it's really hard for me.
So just, I guess, high level here. So far, we've selected Mauro Ranallo. We're kind of building our dream team here.
Okay.
See how that works out. We're doing this live.
Mauro, Steve Farhood.
Okay, then next we got studio/host. And and
this is short. So he's got Max Kellerman, Brian Custer, Kay Adams, Kate Abdo.
Okay. So,
Abdu?
Yeah. I feel like this grouping of people is weird because I don't consider what Kay Adams does the same as what
Brian Custer
or Mac. Yeah, I feel like
it's just not the same.
It's not the same. It might be similar.
Because they like cut to her and Chris Mannix.
She's out like she talks to people all over.
She's like walking
she's
around.
Not
so I
consider
them like ringside reporters or sideline reporters. Like the person you cut to is different than like Fox on NFL. You have like what's his face over on the far left. He's the guy that anchors like the rest of the crew and transitions for everybody, right? He keeps things going. And I don't see Kay Adams doing that. So like he did put studio/host.
So whatever that means. On this list, if I'm giving you the best person on this list that I want in a boxing broadcast, as much as I love Max Kellerman, and I do love Max Kellerman, I'm picking Kay Adams because I feel like Kay Adams brings something different to boxing that boxing normally doesn't have, and she's already done such a great job at what she at her role, and I feel like
so we both feel like she has a mix of being like good at in the broadcast role, like communications, like she went to. She's trained for that, right?
Yeah.
Like a person that are trained to be in broadcasting, but she also has a way of being natural
and connecting, legitimately connecting with whoever she's talking to, whether it's like.
Or the audience,
or if
like
it's a fighter, or if
the,
it's just people.
It was the whole like all the people in the arena once. Like she somehow like got. But that said, my pick would be Brian Custer.
Okay.
I think he does an excellent job anchoring, transitioning, bringing the viewer because like this job is important because you are there solely to bring the TV audience into like the arena where you're at.
Yeah.
And you're not like walking around and doing stuff like that's your job. And I think that Brian Custer does an excellent job.
So it seems like if we're making our own little dream team,
I just haven't seen Max Kellerman in this role.
He's only done it once, and it was like a different version of Max Kellerman that we're used to seeing on HBO. So yeah, you might, he's kind of forecasting here. Yeah. So what I think is so far I would say our dream team is Mauro Ranallo, Steve Farhood, Brian Custer at a desk, and Kay Adams out doing what she does, because that's what they do. The last people, interviewers/reporters. Go ahead.
Jim Gray, Chris Mannix, Heidi Androl.
Sure.
I can't even recall her. So
Yeah.
Bernardo or Suna.
Okay, this is criminally almost easy to decide, and it's not Jim Gray.
My tip top pick out of this 4 is Chris Mannix.
It's easily
without
Chris
a doubt.
Mannix. Yeah.
He has done a great job on DAZN, and I was a little bit hesitant with Chris Mannix when DAZN came out. I wasn't sure, like if he was gonna. But he ended up like not being as nervous as I must have seen him in a previous.
Yeah,
like,
he's
thing
been
where he's
one
been
of the
like a little nervous
top
or something.
writers in the last 10 years in
Yeah,
boxing.
the top
or
writers,
whatever.
but I must have seen him
and
on
so
TV.
he's been on TV a lot, so probably, yeah.
And so I was worried that he was going to be like too nervous in front of the camera and not be relaxed enough.
You said stiff before. That he
stiff,
was,
yeah.
Maybe.
But like maybe him paired with Kay Adams is exactly what he needed, or he's gotten better. But out of this group, that's definitely who I pick. And I actually I like Bernardo Osuna, but
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I think Jim Gray. You already know that we think that in a way he has a hard time relating to people, and I think in that role that's the one. However, he is good at making things awkward, which sometimes plays great. Like he will.
And when you're trying to,
especially if somebody's giving you crap, and Jim Gray is like, "I'm from Mars, you can't give me crap," and that's great. That looks great on TV. So it sounds like our final play-by-play Real Talk with Kelsey official dream team is Mauro Ranallo. We got Steve Farhood. We got Brian Custer.
Holding it all down.
Kay Adams and Chris Mannix. So let us know what you think. Let us know what you think. You like, comment, and subscribe, and leave your comments down. Who's your dream team? Who do you think the best total crew is? Like we gave you our favorite total crew.
You can pick that, but then give us your individual.
I want to see the dream team. I'm more interested in your dream team.
Using the categories that Kevin Iole
using only the names on this list. We can't pull out Jim Lampley and recreate HBO's crew, right? I want to see people on this list. We'll leave it in the show notes. Leave a link, and thanks for watching.
Yeah.